Every single thing you do, from breathing to thinking to even just watching this right now, it's all controlled by this incredibly complex, high-speed network in your body. That network? It's your nervous system. So today, let's follow the journey of a single nerve signal and see how your body's amazing command center actually works.
Okay, let's start with a classic example, something you've probably felt before. How is it that you can touch a hot stove and yank your hand away in a flash, a split second before your brain even registers the pain? It feels like magic, right? But it's not. It's just pure, lightning-fast biology.
The secret to that incredible speed? Well, it's all about how your nervous system is set up. It's split into two main parts. You've got the central nervous system, or CNS. That's the command center, basically your brain and spinal cord. And then there's the peripheral nervous system, or PNS, which is this huge network of nerves that act like messengers, connecting the command center to everything else.
All right, so to really get to the bottom of that hot stove mystery, we first need to understand the basic layout of this whole system.
Think of it like this. It's a simple division of labor. You have the central nervous system, that's the main processor, just the brain and the spinal cord. And then you have the peripheral nervous system. That's all the wiring, all the field agents that connect that central command to every single part of your body. And this just nails the concept. On the left, you've got the CEO, the brain. It's the seat of all the big decisions. And then on the right, you see that vast network of couriers and field agents, all the nerves out there, sensing the world and carrying out the orders. Okay, so back to our hot stove. The journey of any nerve signal always starts with the outside world, with some kind of sensory input. So let's trace exactly how that, "ow, that's hot" information gets into the system in the first place. The very first point of contact is something called a sensory receptor. Just imagine millions of these tiny detectors all over your body, each one with a super specific job. Some of them detect pressure, others detect temperature, and the ones in our hot stove story, they're specialized to detect pain. And just look at this. Your skin is so much more than just a simple covering. It's basically a high-tech sensor grid. It's jam-packed with all these different kinds of nerve endings, each one fine-tuned to pick up a different sensation, like a light touch, some deep pressure, or, you guessed it, pain. So the moment your hand touches that hot stove, a pain receptor fires off, and instantly it generates an electrical signal that just zips up a sensory neuron. And where's it headed? To the integrating center in the spinal cord, which is part of the CNS. The danger message is officially on its way. The signal has now arrived at headquarters. It's made the journey from the periphery right into the central nervous system. And this is where the real action happens, where a decision gets made in a fraction of a millisecond. And there's a name for this step. It's called integration. It's the absolutely crucial link between what you sense and what you do. The CNS takes that incoming danger, hot signal, figures out what it means, and immediately comes up with a plan of action. Now, the whole CNS is obviously super complex, but for a simple reflex like this, one part is the hero, the spinal cord. It acts like a rapid response center, making a decision before the signal even has time to get all the way up to the brain. That's the secret to the speed. Of course, the brain is still the boss, in charge of conscious thought, coordination, all that complicated stuff. And you gotta check this out. This is a map of how much brain power your brain dedicates to different parts of your body. It has nothing to do with physical size. It's all about sensitivity and control. The reason your hands and lips look so enormous on this map is because they are packed with nerves, and they take up a huge amount of brain real estate to manage. And the craziest part? This map isn't fixed. With practice, you can literally change it. That's neuroplasticity in action. So while that huge brain map is processing things, our spinal cord has already made its decision. It has screamed, "Move the hand now." The integration part is done, and it's time to send that command out to the motor system. For a simple reflex, this is all nearly instantaneous, but for any voluntary movement, it follows this pretty clear path. First, the brain comes up with an idea, a plan of action. Then the motor cortex sends the order down the line. And finally, an effector, in this case, a muscle, carries it out.
Now, this command doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It has to travel. An electrical impulse zips down from the brain through these specific pathways in the spinal cord, and it just rockets out along a motor neuron, heading straight for the muscles in your arm.
And that's the final step. The motor impulse arrives at the muscle, and it delivers one simple non-negotiable command: contract. The muscle obeys instantly, and bam, your hand is pulled to safety. The entire loop from touch to reaction is complete.
You know,
That reflex is an incredible feat of biological engineering, and it's something we share with a lot of animals. But let's zoom out for a second and look at what makes the human central nervous system so special.
You know, the real game changer for us is our highly developed cerebral cortex. See, while a reflex is automatic, the cortex is what allows us to think about that reflex afterward. It's what gives us abstract thought, complex language, and the ability to plan for the future. It's the difference between just yanking your hand away and learning to never touch the stove again. So just try to remember this whole journey we've traced, from a tiny receptor into the CNS and back out to a muscle. It's not some rare event. This is happening constantly, millions of times a day, governing every single interaction you have with the world, all at a speed that is, honestly, almost impossible to wrap your head around.
Which really leaves us with just one final thought. We've just explored the most sophisticated processing system known in the universe, and it's sitting right inside your skull. So if this is the hardware you're working with every single moment of every single day, what amazing things are you choosing to do with it?